Nathan was muted. Sorry about that. It was Nathan's fault this time. Nathan muted himself. Hey, good morning, good
First
evening.
time ever.
First time ever. Welcome to the WTRL Team Time Trial World Tactical Racing League number 59. I'm Nathan Guerra, Zwift Community Live. And Dave Towle coming at us also from Colorado virtually. We're here for number 59 out on the greatest London flat course for the loop out there. It's going to be fast, furious racing. We've got a lot of teams. We'll be covering three of the groups today. We're going to be covering Espresso, Vienna, as well as Frappe, I believe it is, that we are in out there today. Again, apologies to the other two. We are going to try and jump in to the other two categories if we can, but we're limited to three on the day today. But it's going to be fun, fast racing. We'll definitely come in with all the splits, though, for the day. Dave, WTRL, give a little background here. I mean, this is number 59. These guys have been doing this for over a year, and pretty amazing have they put together this team time trial.
Yeah, I can't thank the team, Martin and Steven and company anymore. They've created a worldwide phenomenon. Actually, Nathan, a few days ago, a GoFundMe was launched. I saw that everybody out there in this community, not just our Zwift community live or our friends at Zwift, but specifically the WTRL, World Tactical Racing League. The support has been tremendous. Keep it up. I know the guys really appreciate it. It's just a nice pat on the back, actually. The money goes a long way, but just seeing that support was super cool. This community is amazing. Wanted to send a shout out to the Irish Monsters. They did you see this, Nathan? Just yesterday, they announced that they're now part of the Irish Cycling Federation. The basically what we have in the United States, our USA Cycling. They now have a women's team time trial element that has really come together in a special way. So congratulations, Grace, and everybody there. In Ireland, we have over 600 teams. Again, Nathan, this is a worldwide phenomenon. It really is.
It definitely is. 600 teams on the day. It grows every single week. Let's go ahead and jump right into the racing action, though, as you're speaking about specifically this team that is out on course here. It looks like the Celtic Queens have jumped out on course. And it looks like Nathan. 144 beats per minute here with Nichols there, as well as Mick Ganego. Let's talk real quickly also about the course records, though, that have been set that these riders are going to be going after out here today. Course records for the World Team Time Trial on the greatest London flat for one lap. It does look like this is going to be the current, what we're looking at here. So race 3R, Lunatics with a 45.49. We are seeing the indoor specialist there with a 38 in the Espressos. The BRT draft beers there at 41.10. Race 3R with New Kids on the Block at a 44.05 in the latte. And the Mocha with Dirt Power there at 48 minutes and 27 seconds there. So that's going to be the course records these riders are going to be looking to beat out here today. We'll be coming in with splits as well as we go throughout the broadcast here as well. Now, we do have some results from earlier this morning already coming in from what I can see here from Zone 1. Go ahead, Dave.
I was just going to say, Nathan, I believe it's 6 zones. Didn't we establish that last week? So people might be wondering, what do you mean you've already got times in? But we've already been racing on planet Earth today. We're just picking up kind of midday here in the United States for obviously the Irish women here. Nathan, they're just past, we're right around dinner time. I'm sure they'll enjoy a nice shepherd's pie after the effort they're making. I just wanted to explain to folks that racing goes on kind of all day. The sun never sets on the British Empire. It never sets on the WTRL either.
Yeah, and it's a good point there as we do bring in the results from the day so far. We'll definitely, be looking to see what kind of times it can be set up against the times that we currently have. This is going to be the Viennas from this morning. Live by Cycling Fierce, and that's what these riders right here that we're looking at are going to be racing up against. The Celtic Queens, they're going to be trying to beat this time of 46.44. And so as you can see there, solid also from our LRF ladies as well as the PCC Vixens. As we go through here, here's the Espresso from this morning as well with the 40.49. Total Tri Training TTT 40.40, tied neck and neck there. That's pretty amazing, actually. Wow. Exact same time between this goes to show how close this is.
Incredible.
Right?
So
That's
again, racing.
Incredible.
Yeah, I mean, the course today, 31 kilometers. Think about that, Nathan, to the second. they were tied. So we use all of these coffee classes here. So again, we're going to take a look at the frappes now. There's a lot of unique things about the WTRL. So thanks for joining us here as we take a look at here. This is going to be our frappe class. And well, that dirt team, the Dad's Inside Riding Trainers, they have, what do you think, Nathan? 12 different teams out here racing, possibly. That's the Dirty Steam engines that set that 4224.
Yeah, Dirty Steam Engines there, followed up by LRF1, and then Dirty Streamers there with the 4255. This one will be looking to try and beat in the frappes. For the lattes, so far from Zone 1, we got Eat Dirt 2, 45 flat with a BBAC Cedar. I like that name. Nice. Coming in with the 4655 for the lattes. Eat Dirt, Veer there. That's your top 3 for the lattes from Zone 1 this morning. Again, 8 zones, actually, Martin is letting us know, plus the Premier League. So they've actually expanded. Right. They now have 8 zones. Zone 1 already went out this morning, as you can see. And there's a couple other zones around our stream as well. The Premier League is the streamed league. Top 10 to 11 teams that are out there from all the zones last week do get invited to the Premier League and get broadcasted. So there is Zone 3 and 4, I believe, or it's 2 and 3 are right around the Premier League on either side of it. They go out 15 minutes on either side. So definitely an interesting, absolutely a ton of work that's obviously put into these all of the zones that are happening out there. So we've been on the board with the Celtic Queens for quite a while here. Let's go ahead and jump back a little bit. I see Bex Remington in here chasing down the Celtic Queens. She looks like that's a long time Zwifter. That's a triathlete, actually, I believe, that was a part of one of the first Zwift Academy Tri, or there was a Zwift Tri team that was like, the whole goal of the Zwift Tri team was to get to Kona in your category. It wasn't necessarily about professional triathlon racing. And so Bex, I believe this is going to be Bex Remington. She was a part of that group, actually. Good to see her out here hammering away in this, what looks to be mainly a UK team out here that went out second out on course. We'll have to wait as the splits come in. We'll have to see how they are faring as they're hammering away. Just called TTT maybe as their team name.
So, Nathan, one of the categories that's a lot of fun to watch is this elite women's group for sure. I don't know if we have the choppers out here today. We're going to be jumping around, but there's a lot of the elite triathletes in the United Kingdom and United States have been participating in the WTRL as well. Socks for Watts is the other team, Lizzie Duncombe and company. That squad is a lot of fun. So we'll be jumping around again with 8 different zones plus the Premier League. You talk about numbers. I mean, we usually have in the neighborhood of 600 different teams. I just want to kind of break things down. Racing on this course today, 31 kilometers. This is a classic team time trial course. Now, the teams start with really anywhere from 5 to 8 riders. Nathan is typical. The time will be taken off of the 4th rider who finishes. So obviously, this is a big part of what the team time trial is all about, is working together, getting the most out of each rider without dropping them along the way. So let's see who we do have here. The Vikings Valkyrie team has always been strong, that squad out of Norway. But there we go. So the Choppers and Socks for Watts are racing today. This is one of the greatest battles going in sports today, Nathan. I kid you not. I was joking about Godzilla and Mothra battling off the coast of Japan. This is very similar. You're looking at 2 teams in the sweet spot now as they've dialed their chemistry. They know the name of the game as far as team time trialing here. A lot of them are excellent individual time trialists. Well, that matters, but being able to work in this team time trial format, it takes a unique mindset. The strongest riders, Nathan, they don't go faster, they go longer. And that really is a shift in mindset. You want to keep these gaps down to non-existent, actually. This is what you're looking for, is stringing it out perfectly. So good job by the Valkyrie squad here. As we look at Isaacson, is one of the riders on this team. They're really looking like they're getting it together right now, Nathan, as they roll up on almost 4 kilometers in. They're flying here, moving along at 36.
Absolutely fine. Going to jump real quickly on in over to our Espresso. We have the World Rowing ICC have jumped into the race out here today. This is actually world class.
That should have
world class rowers.
Typically,
that are on bicycles, though. They are on bikes. You could row on Zwift, from what I'm told, and power bicycles with your rower, because it does communicate watts. But they're on actual bicycles. But this is, I mean, you want to talk about total body cardiovascular? These are some of the strongest athletes in the world.
Without a doubt, Nathan. I mean, Connie Carpenter, the first ever Olympic gold medalist in cycling in Los Angeles, she started as a rower. Rowing and skating are incredibly good complementary sports to cycling. As a matter of fact, rowing, you'd think it's counterintuitive. It looks like it's a sport that would be based on your arm strength. Well, your arms are really about being able to work in synchronicity with the other oars. It's your legs and your core where you're generating so much of that lift. I mean, there's nothing in the world like the experience of being in a boat that's lifting out of the water when you have 8 finely tuned athletes. And it's a really interesting compliment here, because rowing and team time trialing are not as far apart as one might think. You picking up my drift there, Nathan? I mean, you got to work together. I mean, basically, you're 8 riders in a boat right here. It's just a boat with wheels that's moving along at 51 kilometers per hour right now. I love seeing the world rowing. I think they call it a hydro. Nathan, is the rowing machine that you can get watts out of, I believe.
Have no idea. I honestly
you've got enough going on,
clue.
My friend.
No, I just have no clue.
Not...
I've just never done anything when it comes to rowing. I mean, I could look it up on Google if you want me to right now.
Oh my God, the last thing we need is to get Nathan involved in the world of competitive esports rowing, because we will lose him.
That might happen
really
one day.
fun.
That might actually happen one day with how things are going. We're going to have competitive rowing one day.
Well, I'm sure. I bet you it exists. There is some Nathan Guerra out there in the world of esports rowing that is right now creating the first races that are happening, and more power to him. It's such a cool thing. So, Nathan, watching this team, again, the coffee classes, it took me a little while to pick up on this here. In our Premier League, they use all of the Frappes, Espressos, Mochas, etc. to instead of the A's, the B's, the C's, and the D's. It's just part of how WTRL keeps things fun. That's for sure. All right, Nathan. Again, 31K we've talked about. I think this might be the perfect team time trial course. There's a couple little bumps along the way. There's really no significant climbs. I mean, if we sent some of these squads up Box Hill, it would be chaos. It'd be absolute pandemonium. It'd look like you threw a hand grenade in the middle of the team, as you'd have riders all over the place. Here they get to do really what you're looking for. It's poetry in motion. When you look, this squad, Nathan, I'm impressed. Look at the speed right now. Obviously, they're carrying a little bit of momentum through this sector here, but as they come up on 15 minutes of racing, they are locked in. Very impressive job by the world rowing squad
here. I mean, there's also the reality here, I think, of the splits, though. As we're looking at these, look at how the Naga Bomb. The Naga bombs
How could that
are
be?
absolutely flying. Is that going to be a correct time there? Because
I'm going to hold Nathan on that just for a minute, because it just looks exceptional to me. So sometimes with that kind of data, I'm just going to take a breath on that before I start commentating heavy duty anyways, because that's pretty insane.
Yeah, that's a pretty insane time
to be 30% faster than these guys who are hauling butt right now.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see. Yeah,
we'll find out
here. The DBR boys, though, coming on through, it looks like just behind. It looks like they've lost a minute, though, to the World Rowing Boys, actually. So interesting to see. Wade Roberts on the back here, as you do see that 2:02. So Thornton here from DBRRA, they're going to have to close things down because it is a 1 minute. I mean, a 1 minute between the two. Heiberg made his way to the front. Let's start talking about how they ride through here. It really is a tactical, has a finesse to it, the time trialing. You can see how the riders at the back will be holding a much lower wattage. You can actually see it live there. If they're doing well, if they're drafting well. One thing that we've been talking about on the broadcast once in a while is what kind of perspective are the riders using in game, right? Like if you're using, if we use the number 1 or number 2, if you don't know about this, you can change your rider's perspective in-game by pushing a number on the number pads. If you push 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way through 9 or 0, even, you can change the rider's perspective.
You get the helicopter view or the
helicopter view.
Like it's cool.
You can go by here, 6, 5, 4, 3, right?
I always use the 1 when I ride.
So this is 1. This is 1 right here. But if you're drafting on someone, now I can't get first person perspective as a because I'm in fan view right now, so I can't get this person's first-person perspective right now. But if I could, I'd push you push number 3 on the keyboard, and bam, you can get right into their first-person perspective. Let's see if I can actually, this is as close as you can get in my fan view here. So, but
while you're doing this, Nathan,
first person is so key to knowing whether or not you're going up against the rider and past them. So a lot of times I think there's a lot of wasted energy by riders in races or TTTs because they overextend. And one last thing on that is because in real life you don't have the depth perception in the same way without being in that first person perspective or wind that you can't feel.
Sure. No, Nathan, I'd like to tack onto that. That is really well put. That's your pro tip of today. It's been really cool having Nathan give us these tidbits of information, because the name of the game is saving every watt. Don't put your nose in the wind if you don't have to. Absolutely trying to save as much as you can so that when you are the rider on the front, you can give a nice, steady, hard effort. The real goal here, I mean, in a perfect world, if all the riders were the same strength and having the same day, everybody would rotate through, put about 30 seconds on the front, come off, reload, come back through. But it's not a perfect world. Some riders might be in a spot of bother right now. Other riders just come in with a higher FTP, and so they're going to want to do more work. But when they hit the front and they go faster, they start putting riders in the team into trouble. Gaps open up, and that's less than ideal. So keep it smooth is fast. You hear that a lot. But in order to see, unfortunately, Nathan, what we were talking about, this is not quite ideal right now. And then the overcorrection happens here. See, that's what you're talking about there with riders 2 and 3 in line. You see what I'm saying?
Yep, exactly.
So that was where, when Nathan was telling us that you really, by using that 2 there instead of the 1, as far as the 9 different camera shots that you can have, you might have been able to see that coming at you a little bit better. So again, we're with the BRT, the draft beers team. Do Belgians love their beers as much as Americans? I think they love them more. So there's nothing like a Trappist beer, is there?
Only been once, but definitely amazing. We'll just leave it at that. So here, 10:53 here from Evo Vortex. Solid time at the first split, as you can see at the 8 kilometer, 16 kilometer, and 24 kilometers where we're going to be having the splits. And it looks like Evo Vortex going out hot in the Frappe. Only 2 seconds over dirt, it looks like there. And then it's going to be the Race 3R Fleetwood Mac there. Tied up,
trust
actually.
These numbers too.
Look at that. Yeah, these
really
are pretty good. Yeah, and then it's Innovation Euro Aliens, HDR, it looks like is going to be. So the draft beer boys here, they got some time to make up. It's going to be about 27 seconds, it looks like, or so. They're going to be needing to make up maybe a little bit more than that.
Nathan, at that first check here for the Frappe group, you've really got 3 teams deadlocked there. It's 2 seconds advantage that the Evo Vortex has, but 3 teams within 2 seconds of each other. That is going to be one heck of a bike race. So the course really doesn't change all that much over the next 20K. Basically, if you've been managing this, you can manage the rest. It's just keeping your team, good word for that, simpatico. Everybody on the same page, working together. You got to be honest, Nathan, as well here. If you're not doing well, don't take that dangerous pull that leaves you in the red zone too long and then you blow up. Go ahead and sit out a pull or two. And a lot of these teams have really dialed in the communication that goes on. That is a big, big part of it. Honesty goes a long way.
It really does. Now, I mean, let's see if we can jump on back in with the Viennas. That is going to see how things are going there. They're going to be the furthest along amongst all the teams, at least I believe, as ladies always go first. That's one of the what are talking points or the
credos of
the credos of WTRL. Yeah, that's just a tradition amongst WTRL. Now we're looking at Sisu, actually, Team Sisu, a newer team as far as I know of, jumping out on course with a solid 11:28 so far. So very, very fast time here coming in. We are looking currently though at the Valkyrie team here coming out of Norway. They've put down a 12:06, so they got looks like about 45 little over 45 seconds to make up here. Right around 40 seconds there to make up to get back on the podium now, as they are actually dropping as new times come in.
Yeah, they're down to 4.
Well as Team Infinite. Saris are out there today, just picking up on that, and that's one of the top esports teams amongst the ladies that have been showing up. So I believe that's going to be a new addition out here today to the racing, the teams that have been showing up in the TTT. And Valkyrie are losing one now. It looks like a rider here unable to hold on, as it's going to be Stronin now trying to push out 4-6. Are they going to let her go? It looks like they're backing off to let her get back on. Interesting to see.
Yeah, they're going to need to manage this situation here. That's Nathan. This is what we're talking about the stall the beans here. Is we've got a long way to go. If this rider can participate again, it is well worth it to hold on for a couple of seconds, let her rejoin, take a deep breath, and good job, Valkyrie. That was well played there, because I would not say at 11 kilometers in you want to soldier on with 4, because what happens, Nathan, if one rider then has a dropout, or it's race over. You will not be scoring in the top 10 or top 5 anyway. So that being said, this team has managed that pretty well, I would have to say. But again, as we look at Svarstad here, the Danish rider, going just a little hard. She realizes it, backs off, and then you can see what Nathan was talking about, this little bit of going pear-shaped on you for a moment, less than ideal. So you're watching a team right now working the kinks out here. It's not as easy as anyone might think. You'd say, yeah, you get 4 or 5 strong riders together, let them race a time trial. What could go wrong? Well, there's a lot that can go wrong. Oh, I see Fiona Schroeder is on this team. She's one of our favorites, racing out of Germany. She's been extremely active. This Caroline Murray, the Scottish. This is a strong team, Nathan. You know, we talked a lot about when you look at it, socks for watts, along with the choppers. Lately, socks for watts. Got to give your tip of the cap to them. Those ladies have organized themselves into a
This is the
team.
top 3 teams we're looking at. You're talking about. So you just mentioned the choppers. We're looking at Cyrus Infinite right now. Socks for watts at the top there. Not much. Yeah, I mean, Nathan, this is heating up for the podium. This is awesome to see with the women's side of things here. 11:19, 11:24, 11:28. 10, not even 10 seconds difference. Yeah.
Absolutely. This is exciting if you're a fan of the WTRL, because what we've seen are these 2 mega squads, talking about Socks for Watts and the Choppers, and they're stacked with these world-class triathletes, both teams. I mean, Lucy Barclay Charles is one of the riders on that Choppers team that has, she's a silver medalist 3 years in a row at the Triathlon World Championship. So when you look at those squads, it's nice to see, Nathan, then the team, the Sisu, Cryogen, Infinite Ceres, they're all within 40 seconds of each other out there. We got ourselves a Donnybrook going on now, folks. This is what the WTRL is all about. Nathan, I'm getting hyped, and we still got 20K to go for most of our teams.
Yeah, this is the greatest London flat. Definitely a great team. Speaking of the course, too, it's definitely a great course as far as team time trialing goes. Some pure power, just what kind of speed you can put out on a flatter course like this. There's a couple of little bumps. Some of the teams are getting out into the countrysides a little bit, but they don't really do any of the major climbs in London. So it really is all about speed and power and teamwork out here today, as the riders don't have to take on too much of the climb. Now, speaking of the choppers, though, only 26 seconds back, though, from Saris here at this point. So they're closing down some gaps. I think I have a feeling as the splits come in just a few moments here, we are going to see Infinite fall. And we are seeing him fall down a little bit there, as Sisu, as you said, has put in a solid time there at that 28 now. So definitely some changes up going on right now in the world of this time trial right now. Now, looking back, those Socks for Watts, they're not messing around. They picked up Vicky Nealon from Team Hino now. Oh, man. Boy. This is the scrappy team. Look at this scrappy team.
They're not scrappy anymore, Nathan. They moved into this, like, my goodness, you told me. I did not realize Nealon is joining this squad now. This is a turbocharged squad here. These ladies now representing really the United Kingdom and the United States, I would say, for the most part here.
They're also coming out of Switzerland, you can say, there with the verified badge there. So good to see the pickup there all out of Switzerland as well. But yeah,
that's cool.
This is very cool international squad.
The team knows no borders, that's for sure. They're just looking for megawatt producers, and they've found them. Okay, so this battle, again, in our women's race here, we call them the category is Vienna. Nathan, you're going to have a lot of fun following along with the different teams out here, because it's just a matter of seconds separating them, and we're going to be coming up on the second checkpoint. They do a great job at the WTRL of highlighting this category, and
Thanks a lot, Martin.
Always worth.
We appreciate Martin's playing with us. He said, but every time he says Donnybrook, we finish our. I like it. I like the games they play. They know us, and that's part of what it's all about too. Is the fun that we have here in the community with the team time trials and all the events that are put on here. Now this team is doing an amazing job. It looks like here, holding on to this top spot so far. As we take a look at the splits here, the new splits are starting to come in, and they'll start populating the top spots as it looks like Total Try Training Women TTT coming on through with that 23:29. WTRL Celtic is there with a 24:01. Now they were at the lower end though early on, so that's just going to populate as we get to the first splits though.
Yeah, talking about Lizzie Duncombe, she also, Nathan, has a strong rowing background before moving into the world of, she's won at the world level of triathlon as well. So that's the team that we're looking at now. I mean, they're the team that they come in as the favorites, Sox for Watts. What they've been doing over the last few months has been nothing short of impressive. I mean, there's Rachel Elliott. I think she might be the greatest story going in esports, Nathan. What she has come back from, as they say, you see it a lot these days. It's not about how many times you get knocked down. It's about how many times you get up. And Rachel Elliott, she personifies that. Correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't she racing? Well, these days, Rachel is a multi-dimensional talent, right? After her stroke that she suffered, there were some vision issues. And now I would imagine, I don't want to speak out of school, but Nathan, maybe you might know. If you don't, I don't want to put you on the spot, but maybe paracycling is something that she's going to to be doing in Tokyo.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see if she's able to get into an Olympic spot. That's for sure. But there is also reality that I think she's focused in on the tandem, and I'm not sure if there's an Olympic event around the tandem. But she's been setting records, national records there.
Paracycling, there is for sure. So, like, they have non-sighted athletes that ride with a sighted captain. Actually, Katie Compton, the American cyclocross star, used to be a pilot for an athlete that was blind. Kara Witzel, and they would win gold medals like in the Athens Para Games that follow the Olympics. There's so many cool things happening in sport right now, Nathan. We've got a lot to look forward to. These riders have done a tremendous job of staying motivated through this whole COVID-19. You found the plastic cockneys.
Yeah, Plastic Cockney's jumping out here. Reese Howell has put together their team, it looks like, and they've got a solid, it looks like, lineup here. Hart, Perrin, Alexander, Sutton is out there as well. So Reese here leading things out, it looks like. So interesting to see how Howells has got some fitness, it looks like, up into 6.3 watts per kilogram right now. We'll see what kind of times that they can bring in today. Quick little shout out, Team PO Auto. They had gotten an invite, but they had some in real life stuff going on, and so they had to pull out for this week. So they will not be coming through with any times. They are on the list there in our data, but they will not be registering any time. So that seems to be a top spot that is available this week because Team PO Auto did pull out. They'll have to show up to another zone next week then, as they will not be in the top 10 for the teams next week.
You know who I'm expecting big things from today would be the Vitas team. Let's watch out for them today, Nathan. McGlinchey is racing. That's a game changer out here in WTRL, the Northern Irish rider that's part of that UK-based team. Talking about Vitas, we've had some fun with them as well. That's another brand that's done a great job of shifting some gears and moving into this COVID-19 lockdown era. Kind of less lockdown now, but the racing is en fuego out here today, and it will continue to be. This is the 59th consecutive week that the WTRL has been taking place. Our friend Martin and Steven do just such a tremendous job with this as we pick up the plastic cockneys. It can be also a little tricky, Nathan, when you come up and over the top of these little risers here, as you see little gaps starting to open up, as well as some riders try to push on, others looking to just stay in the slipstream right now, as these riders are about 2/3 of the way through this 31-kilometer journey out here on the loop that I think is absolutely perfect when you talk about Greater London. This or Tempest Fugit, Nathan, is where, if I had my choice, my druthers, I would have us racing every week.
Yeah, as far as keeping things flat there, Dave. It sounds like
I like to keep it flat. That's clearly Dave's a fan of the flat. Yes.
Jumping in with innovation here, they do jump into a couple of climbs as well. A little 4% grade. You can see them, as you said. It can be one of the sections that's a little more difficult to keep things together. Law there with 9 watts per kilogram quickly, staying on terms now. Does look like we got Jay Barnes here, Twitch TV. Good to see him out there and streaming, I believe. So innovation. Be watch out for them starting at the back. It looks like we'll see if they can make up some of this time, though. I mean, 142 out to Plastic Cockneys. Cockneys are putting in a solid time out there today. Where are they standing? 4th overall currently, the team that's just ahead of this one. Looking through for the innovation times right here. This team, though, is currently with that 2040 right now. Now, looking at the World Rowing ICC, they're at the top because they came through at the 24-kilometer mark so far, 30:46 that they did put in. But I do not believe they're at the top, though, when it comes to the last marker. I'm going to go ahead and bring these back to the 16K markers just so that we get a good time on where things actually stand. And this is where things actually stand with the 16K. In real life, Nagamon
Good
still
job, Nathan.
2021, 2024. So second place currently for these innovation boys. They're chasing down the Ireland Nagabombs, though. So Ireland Nagabombs still by 3 seconds holding on in the Espresso League right now. Plastic Cockneys currently sitting in the overall with that
Nathan.
3rd place with only one. Wow! WTRL Bellingham, it's 1 second.
Seconds.
What is going on?
I mean, look at this, 20:01, 04, 05, 06. So the top 4 teams in our Espresso category are separated by 5 seconds. That is going to be as good as it gets. And so those time checks are going to be a little bit stale right now as well, because they're going to be coming up on, as we already seen, the World Rowing Team come through with, and there you go, populating yet another time. But the fastest times out there, we're still going to be waiting for. We seed these, as they're in the start grid, teams seeded based on previous results. So our fastest teams will start last. We're watching again the innovation squad team here. So again, this is going to be Espressos that we're looking at. You could see some shuffling now. A lot of things can change over that the 6K, or actually make it 8. Sticking with that 6K between these last 2 checks. Another time populating, getting a little bit faster for the Venga boys. Race 3R in at 30:56. So they're just behind World Rowing right now. But again, we're going to see teams going, okay, there you go, 30:07.
Yeah, it's super
Irish
fast times
Nagabomb
coming
team.
on through with the Nagabomb. That's a 40 seconds actually faster than the last one to come on through. Just a real quick shout out there. John Addison, good to see you hanging out on the couch. Loving all the comments coming through. We are watching the comments. If you do want to interact with the broadcast, go ahead and do so, people. You can do so on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, or Twitch. We are watching all of those chats. If you bring those comments on in, and we'll go ahead and interact with any of your questions or comments as we can. Thanks a lot, John Anderson, and good to be seeing that you're cheering on the DDC boys. We'll see if we can find them out on course. So as we've been watching, though, we've been hanging out with the Espresso group for quite a while here. We haven't seen much from the Frappes in a moment here, so let's go ahead and hand on over toward the Frappes, and then we'll jump back in with the Viennas. It does look like the BRT boys with the draft beers, we're still hanging in with them. Let's take a look at the splits and how things are playing out with this Frappe group right now. You look through,
all right,
like,
so
16K looks like race 3R, Innovation Alien Express, Evo. The draft beers currently sitting, it looks like around 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, about 7th place or so. And they are obviously the first one out on, so the 32.54 is their last time through the 24K. What are we on total today? I think we were saying right around
31K.
31. Okay.
Yeah, go with 32, though, Nathan. It usually runs a little bit long, doesn't it? So I'm hearing some requests to jump in with Team ODZ, one of the original squads out there. If we have a chances, we've got so many teams. We wish we could ride along with everybody out there and give you encouragement and shout outs. And certainly we will do our very best to jump around and experience as many of your rides as possible. A lot of teams are bringing it home right now, Nathan. So this is where you make the difference. They talk about the final few intervals that you do. Those are the ones where you get the gains. Well, this is where you find that 5 seconds that you get your team's best time possible. And you know that they're digging deep right now, scraping every watt off the bottom of the barrel that they can find.
Yeah, and we're going to go and see if we can jump back just a little bit. But this team's doing well. It's about 6th or 7th place at this point. This looked like they did have to drop off. Marchiori put in the work, it looks like, early on, and is now falling off the back of the BRT here. And, 48, you have to finish with 4, if I'm not incorrect. So you can start really
Correct.
dropping. You can start dropping people off. People can put in a big work up front. Now, ODZ here, as we are seeing, one of the oldest standing teams. And with a very strong Canadian, obviously all Canadians here actually, as you would say Canuck up here. It looks like they're trying to do as they finish up their TTT out here today. Will be Lefebvre leading things out right now. Sibum now making his way to the front there. Solid group here in this Frappe category right now. Now, if those of you may be unfamiliar with why am I seeing Frappe and what is Frappe all about? What is Espresso all about? Essentially, WTRL has made their own categories for the TTT. And so the Frappe group out there, that's going to be alongside of what would usually be your B category. This is going to be your right around that 2.5 to 3.2 watts per kilogram. When you're talking about your and then when you're talking about your A categories, that 4.0 or higher, that's going to be your Espresso as well as your Vienna for the ladies and the men. And those are the categories we're covering out there today. So if you aren't familiar with how this works out, essentially right now we're covering the women's A's, the men's A's, and and then a mixture in the B category. If you're familiar with the categories in Zwift, they just have some awesome coffee labels around them all here in the WTRL.
Okay, so yeah, I'm curious too. We're getting our final splits coming in. As you can see, we'll use 32 kilometers as the total race distance. So as they get that last check, now that's Team ODZ that we're looking at with that 33:04, outstanding there. And I see we're jumping now to the Frappes here as Fleetwood Mac is going to be, well, we'll see if they can hold on to the lead. So that's Nathan doing a really good job there. What he's showing us was who the leaders were at the last split with the current times that are coming in. And now we can just start updating here. 32:40, the fastest time that we've got at that 24K checkpoint from the DIRTTT team. They're 10 seconds ahead of the INC Euro squad. And then you can see the Draft Fears team just 4 seconds behind them. So that's a pretty close race going on as well. To be 24K in and only have 14 seconds separating first and third, that's what you call a bike race.
Absolutely flying, that's for sure, and doing an amazing job competing against each other out here today. So this is going to be the situation currently in the Frappe. Let's go ahead and jump on back to the Viennas, as it's been a little while since we jumped in with them. We're going to go on over to Socks for Watts here, and we'll get their splits up out on the screen. As
this is going to be exciting.
We said at the last splits, it was super interesting how things were playing out. And team... What is this? Is this
Socks? So Socks for Watts is still holding on to.
Yeah, if we go to 16, we'll go to the 16. We'll go to the 16 rather than the 24. So this is the situation on the 16. 22:05. Is that right? No. Here, no. We got a.
No.
Sorry about that, everybody.
Go.
Sorry. There we go. So
that's it.
21:44. Choppers at a 21:59, CISO at 22:05 at 16. So, and then we are seeing at 22:39. Cryogen Infinite has fallen back. Actually, maybe went out a little bit hot there for Team Infinite.
Well, and you learn a lot, and that's the experience that you see with Socks for Watts and the Choppers team. But I got to add Team Sisu in here as well, because they are only 6 seconds off of the standard being set by the Choppers. So this is a battle royale going on now. Nathan, these two checks are going to be very interesting. It's right now we're using about 15 seconds was the last data we had. Socks for Watts, who have been the superior squad here, they put on a command performance week in, week out. But the Choppers are always knocking on the door, and they've got to be hungry and looking to lick their plate clean here in London. So as we come into the final kilometers, this check is going to be incredibly telling, and get ready to dig deep now, as we're going to have quite a bike race here, Nathan. I mean, it's entirely possible that the Choppers have whittled away at this one. Socks for Watts knows who they're up against, but look at this. The Choppers are down to 4 riders here as we're looking at Gossage, one of the 4. So they've got absolutely no wiggle room.
Yeah, Gossage here now. It looks like Choppers really trying to take down that top spot. Week in and week out, it's been a struggle, I think, for them to, compete up against the reality of what Socks for Watts have been bringing to the platform here. We'll see if they can try and overtake that time. It's very close, only 15 seconds. It's been like that week in and week out, as you were saying. 30 seconds, 20 seconds here. We'll have to see, though. They're going to really have to push it here. Goss is going to have to get back on terms. Yeah, and they've got, 10K to go with about 15 seconds at the last split. Going to be interesting to see. They'll be bringing their next split at 24, but I think Chopper's going to be taking down another WTRL this week.
Well,
Socks for Watts.
I'm going to say Socks for Watts. Yeah, I'm going to say this team's in a lot of trouble right now when you look at the Choppers, since they're actually probably going to be giving up second spot now, as Sisu could be coming up over the top of them at the next checkpoint.
That's a good point, actually. We'll have to wait and see.
That's no longer them racing
to.
Yeah, they're no longer chasing Socks for Watts. They're trying to hold off Sisu. It's an entirely different mindset when your team watches things go absolutely haywire coming off the rails. That's going to be Sisu that we're looking at now. They got 5 riders. Look at the difference. Just look at the formation here of Sisu. That's a team that is on point, crushing it. As Nate is the rider that we're looking at. They're at 46 kilometers per hour right now, and this team is full gas. So I am going to expect, Nathan, there's the split, 33-8. If I'm reading that correctly, for Sisu. I have a feeling that's your new second place squad. We're going to find out. Oh boy, it shows you even a squad like the mighty Choppers, you got to have everything going your way out here to pull off a gold standard ride. And it looks like that's our team, Socks for Watts. We've called them scrappy. Now they're the champion standard.
Yeah, looking through here, Sisu now leading things out at the 24K currently. The rest of the splits will start coming in very momentarily for the Viennas. At the front, we do see Reznikov now really starting to push. This is an interesting team, obviously thrown together in the last week or two. Team Sisu now, obviously they had to jump in to this last week in order to get into the top 10. But Sisu, Wendorf,
they seem
Brash,
really well organized.
Here's the thing: is all of these names are names that are just popping up on my radar. Well, very, very recent, very recent additions to the radar of Zwift racing, though. Brash.
Gotcha.
Brash is a name that I believe it was over the weekend we were commentating on in the Dave Jordan, if I'm not incorrect.
Correct. No, you're right. And then Wendorf we had yesterday in our
Wendorf
USA
as well.
cycling race.
Reznikov.
Yep,
we're seeing a pro athlete here in Nath, pro triathlete that's out of Canada. Ramsey as well. I mean, these are all. This is kind of another thrown together team that's like, hey, this looks like a cool event. Let's go see and throw our hat in the ring, and bam! Next thing you know, they're top 10. Now they're challenging for a podium spot. Pretty cool to see how the growth of WTRL is increasing the depth of the field as far as the talent goes.
It's got to be really tricky finding 4 or 5 women that want to do what you're doing out here. They're having a little bit of trouble right now. Talking about Sisu, this is not ideal. It looks like they're losing one rider, and actually this is a little bit of organization. Stall the beans here, and it looks like we're maybe going to get 5 back together. I'm not sure what the game plan is going to be.
They don't need it. They don't need it. They're so close.
Yeah, well, they should
just go.
Now.
Just go.
Exactly. They're within 3K of the finish line, so you might as well just stay on the gas. You're right, Nathan. I absolutely agree with that call. Let's see. Here they are. The splits are in. And we've got a runaway. Socks for Watts pouring it on 41. Right now. So look at that. So, Nathan, they are crushing it. They are now opening up that advantage. The Choppers are holding on, but only by 1 second. Look at this. Sisu has now brought that down to a 1 second gap. That is the bike race right there, Nathan. Choppers and Sisu for the silver medal, as it looks like a Socks for Watts could stay just on the level that they have established is the level that they now live at. So that's going to be Choppers. 1 second advantage on the third place team at the final checkpoint.
Yeah, and they're chasing down Z-Sun. At least they got a carrot there out there in front of them that to chase down. If they grab, go flying right on by Z-Sun in just a moment here. Z-Sun, they're going to have to put some work in, it looks like, as they're sitting in 6th place overall at the last time checking a 35.06. But, 1 second difference. This is the race right here. Sisu making their way to the line. We'll jump back in with them in just a moment here. This is the Vienna situation. Very interesting to see how this is playing out as we get back in with Nath. They're going to be coming into their final K or so in just a moment. 5.6 on the front right now. They got to put everything on the the line if they want to take down that second place and bring back that 1 second because the choppers are chasing hard. That's the situation in the Viennas. Let's go ahead and see if we can jump back in with the Espressos. And Innovation are finishing up their race here at this point. One of the first ones to start out on course. Interesting to see, as it does look like the Innovation boys are in their final K or so. So all of the men here starting to finish up. We'll get the splits out here for the Espresso group. And this is the current situation. You can see who's finished. Naga bombs are across the line already. Those are not. Those are going to be the split time still. We'll start getting the. We'll go ahead and bring the splits actually off then. We're already starting to get some of the results, and as we do, we'll bring those in and see how people are finishing up amongst.
What a good job Innovation did, Nathan, keeping the whole team together into the final kilometer here. Now they can afford to just start burning off riders if they want to. Might as well just gallop on home here. But good work by Innovation today.
Yeah, amazing job here by Innovation as they make their way to the finish line. It does look like solid time 38:32 as they're coming in. See if they're able to hold
8 riders. You don't see 8 finish together often. Well done, boys.
Yeah, all together. And interesting to see now as Unwin 8.2 watts per kilogram. These last seconds, they always matter. So we'll see how that ends up playing out here in just a moment as we try and get
time off of the 4th wheel. Always good to remember that.
Look at the Ireland Naga bomb. This Brennan looks like he demolished himself trying to hold on.
Him.
Good job.
He gave it all for the team.
For sure, for the team. And as we look through here, I'm going to start bringing in the results here. And we'll bring in we're going to go back in with the ladies, actually, as it looks like we'll get the men's situation for the results in just a moment. But this is going to be the team Sisu out on course, finishing up 7.1 watts per kilogram coming from, it looks like, Nath. We'll jump back to the Celtic Queens in just a moment. They're going to be the first women to finish. We'll bring in the Espresso and the Frappe times in just a moment. It does look like there's a battle to the line with TTT and Gilson and Celtic Queens as they all are getting out on to their finish line. Now, we do have, as teams finish, sometimes we do have a jump around a little bit. Apologies on that, guys. I'll jump back in. I think we're going to have to jump back in with the Rachel Elliott maybe and the Socks for Watts as ladies are finishing up.
This is not the gold standard team. This is the platinum standard team. Is Lizzie Duncombe and company. Did Charlotte Backus make it out here? You have to think she did. Lethbridge on this squad. Murray as well. This is an all-star team. It really is. As the ladies now they've got a little ways to go here, Nathan. They can't quite smell the barn at this point, but they've got quite a few. 7 riders still together here. There's Charlotte Backus. Thanks, Nathan. On that Socks for Watts team. She's an incredible spirit, no doubt about it. These ladies have worked hard to get to this point. As we're going to take a look at some more of it looks like results coming in. These are splits now that we're looking at, going back to the most recent data.
I can do that. We can do it.
Oh, yeah, you're good either way.
There we go. So, now 2020 Pro Cycling, apologies that I did not catch them on course. They were out there, it looks like, from what I'm seeing, starting in zone.
Or did they ride in an earlier time zone?
They were in zone 3. They were in zone
Right, they
3.
rode earlier today.
That's why. And actually, I got a message from Nicola from 2020. She let me know that they were jumping in. Look at that time. 42:39. They're going to be in the Premier League next week. I think that's that's going to be a top 10. I would assume.
That's a done deal. That's a top 3 at worst.
Team Sisu 42. They're in the tops. They could take a podium 2020. They could take a podium on the day. What an amazing result! And when you've got world champions on your team for TTT, no joke, right? Of course.
Yeah, that's fascinating. 2020, one of our all-time favorite teams. You mentioned Nikki and the great job she's done there. That's the team of some of the greatest American cyclists of all time, like Chloe Dygert. So we're going back, though. This team should take a lot of pride when they see now they're about 3 kilometers from the finish, Nathan. They should go inside of that time. It's going to be interesting, and it's going to be close. We've got ourselves quite a race going on. So Socks for Watts maybe will win this out of this wave, no doubt. But will they have the fastest time of the day? Sisu, looking at that time from Sisu tells me that, yes, they will, Nathan, talking about Socks for Watts. But I'm going to guess that when this one is done and dusted, it's about 10 seconds, the gap that Socks for Watts should have on 2020. but they're going to have
That's
to
a good point.
stay
They're gonna have to really
force here.
Yeah, it depends a lot on how this last couple of kilometers have played out too. You know, I mean, there is a reality
This will
that
motivate
could
them.
fade.
They will be hearing this, Nathan. This will really motivate the ladies. They've been operating at a very high level, but now they've got even more to race for here, as they would love to take that scalp. When you talk about 2020, that's a team that, when you look at races are about not only the courses you race on, but the teams that you beat or get beaten by out there. And certainly for the Socks for Watts team, which is a group of individuals that have come together. Originally, we joked about them being a scrappy team, and that was sort of the premise there, was that this team had just a tremendous group of individuals that came together to fight with a purpose. Well, 2020 is a team that goes all the way back to the mid-2000s. That team has been organized as basically one of the highest level pro teams that the sport has ever seen. So this is a big, big experience as we look at Vicky Neely and the company.
Yeah, we are seeing the results that have come in so far. We need to change that graphic up just a little bit as far as taking over the screen there. But 42.39 currently, that's what they're up against here, it looks like. We'll see what kind of time they can throw down. 40.29 we're seeing in the upper right-hand corner there. I think they've got this, but they're going to have to really ramp it up still. They're chasing down Z-Sun Hypernova, it looks like. Duncombe toward the front there. We're seeing 5.4 watts per kilogram. This is the lead-in now. Lethbridge, they got to start rotating through. We're going to start needing to see a little bit more of a string out. I think they can let some riders go if they need to, just all in at this point. 4 riders is all you need, and I'm expecting a little bit of a sprint from the riders. You're up into those high watts per kilogram. I think they put in, and look at this, the choppers are only 17 seconds up. What is going on here? Socks for Watts, they have really walked away with this one today.
Yeah, I mean, this is what you get. So not only are they motivated and talented, but they found that synergy that you get when you're on a great team as we take a look at Bartlett here. So this is going to be the final push to the line. Come on, ladies, let's bring it home as they finish up. And now you get a good look that it's not even 32K on the clock. So that's going to be, without a doubt, the Socks for Watts team will have our fastest time anywhere on planet Earth on this course today. This is the Greater London Flat, as it looks like they're bringing it home right now.
Looking to try and stay in here with the riders. Let's see if I can stay in with Saris here.
This gets a little tricky here, just managing all the screens.
It just has to do with riders disappear when they cross the finish line. So they cross the finish line, and then the rest of the riders just disappear. So, so that's just the reality of what the program does. So we'll have to try and change that up a little bit. We'll see if we can get some help on that front. But most of the riders have finished up, so let's go ahead and start looking at Socks for Watts, 41.58. Take it down. Team Sisu. Choppers are out there as well. That's your top 4. Solid so far, it looks like. Let's go ahead and bring in a larger screen of these results now, as the situation looks to be Socks for Watts, 41.58 in the women's situation. 2020 Pro Cycling, they jump into the Premier League for next week. So far, there are still more zones to come. Now, you can see the zone. Now, look, as you look at this graphic here, you can see on the left-hand side, it shows the placing. Then it shows what the little coffee cup says, okay, here's their category, Vienna. The pen that they start in, the E-pen. And then you can see what zone that they start in is going to, how many riders, 8, 6, 7, 6, 8, how many riders they start with. And then it's going to be what zone. So the PL is Premier League, Socks for Watts starting Premier League. 2020, you don't see this very often. 2020 Pro Cycling from another zone ends up taking second overall so far. But there's still 8 zones total, so there's a lot more to come, a lot more racing to come, and there could be others that jump into the Premier League or even take down that top spot. But usually you don't see a lot of people challenging the Premier League, Dave.
No, 100%. What's unique here is 2020 Pro Cycling is a in real life world tour team. That this is the first time that I've ever seen them do WTRL. Have you seen them out here before?
No, this was the first time that they've done, that they've done a WTRL. So
when you have a team that good that races the first time, this is what you get. And it's pretty cool, because if you had told me that the Choppers would finish 4th today, I would say no.
Well, Team Sisu again throws in there too. And last week they were new, right, Dave? Last week Team Sisu was new.
Yep. That's a huge ride from them, Nathan. Good job, Sisu. These ladies have immediately jumped into the front of the line, and all of a sudden, Socks for Watts has a lot more than the choppers to worry about. It makes it that much more fun for everyone out here. A high tide raises all boats, and that's exactly what we saw this week on the WTRL. Big week of racing out here. Week 59 was a special one.
Yeah, real quick here on the times too. All within that 42, just under 42 with the 41.58 from Socks for Watts. So record-breaking times here, obviously, with the Viennas. Amazing job all around. I think the top 4 teams all beat the record times there. They are changing up here for a second, guys. Sorry about the data. It updates every once in a while. As it does update, I'm going to just make sure that we got this correct here. We'll have to wait for Martin to help us out in a second, guys, as I believe once in a while we do get a reload here. I'm going to wait on these before I show any more results. I do not like it when when we get something incorrect, so we'll try and make sure as we... Dave, you still with us? Yeah, you're still with us here. Making sure.
Yeah, so when you look at how much data is generated by over 600 teams, talking about in the neighborhood of, let's say, more than 3,000 riders, I can certainly understand how it takes even the computers having a little bit of trouble out there. Is everyone working together today to create a great experience? Thank you to all of our friends out there that compete in the WTRL. New teams coming out of the woodwork on us out here, Nathan, especially in the Vienna category. So the elite women are really catching the WTRL, what's going on here, and get the tiger by the tail. We'll look forward to week 60 next week. We've got a lot of results still to look at here, however. This is the Premier League, and there we go. Taking a look at more of our Espresso times. The IRL Nagabomb squad with the 38.51. Plastic Cockneys finishing just 4 seconds.
Where did they come from? What is going on?
Today.
Oh, but Innovation ends up taking it out with their latest update. I was like, whoa, what is happening?
This is why you wait. And that's why we wait for the updates.
I'm gonna wait. I'm just gonna wait. I thought we were updated. I thought we were good.
You know, it's tough when you're doing a top 10 and it's updated before you've even gotten to fourth place.
I'm just gonna say, message me when it's ready. Let me know.
Yes.
Let me know when it's ready, and we'll.
When you start reading a top 10 when you start reading a top 10 like that and it's changed when you're halfway through, you know that you probably want to wait.
Yeah, we're gonna wait up here for a minute, everybody, before we get the results going. You can head over to WTRL's website as well a little later in the day. Again, there are more league TTTs to go throughout the day. 8 zones. Actually, if you wanted to, you could put a team together in the next few minutes. I don't know. Actually, no, you can't do that. Excuse me.
Maybe do it next week. Yeah.
For next week. You have to register with WTRL. You could jump in and screw up everything if you wanted to, but you have to register each week. So head on over to WTRL's website, register with them if you do want to get into the team time trials. Put a team together, and you could be in the Premier League next week if you throw in our top 10 time, or obviously just compete against all of your mates out on Zwift. So as we wait in for the results here, we're seeing that it's almost ready. Had to change the data, it sounds like. So it sounds like he says it's all good now. So we're going to go ahead and jump on in. We'll go through each one of the results. Let's go ahead and start in with the Espressos. I believe this is going to be the times now. Hopefully they don't change up again here. But Espresso, go ahead, Dave. You started in with us. We'll let you go for it.
Hey, far out. So IRL Nagabomb, congratulations. You are our champions here with the 38.51. Silver medal to Plastic Cockneys with the 38.55, and top 3 rounded out by Innovation with the 39.02. 4th place to the Volendam boys. Ram Raiders in 5th. Team ODZ in 6th. It's World Rowing in their debut. To me, anyways, good job to the World Rowing ICC team in 7th. Then we got our race 3, our Venga boys in 8th. Cryogen Vultures, good name. Nice work, guys. And then Vision, rounding out our top 10 in Espresso.
Vision coming in there. Look at this. Real quick shout out in this top 10. Ram Riders.
That's your team.
Team ODZ. Well, yeah, okay. But the point, though, being that it was from Zone 3. Zone 3, ODZ from Zone 2, and Ram Riders from Zone 3. So new additions, most likely to the Premier League next week, unseating a few that had joined up today in the broadcast. So interesting to see the competition that's playing out and the grabbing of those Premier League spots.
And Nathan, look at the difference there between first and 10th. It was only 1 minute. Oh, that's okay. But just 1 minute there, basically separating our first and 10th place team.
That is a great point.
That's really cool. Yeah. That's
very, very cool. How close, extremely competitive to get into the Premier League in this Espresso. So pretty awesome.
Whatever team can find 2% better should be your championship team next week. So get to work, boys. Have fun with that. Taking a look at the Frappes now. I love this team, Nathan. I think I've mentioned before. Fleetwood Mac, a great name.
They're
Race
your
3 on Fleetwood Mac.
They said their favorite
I think so. Well, they're motivated, right? 40-54, guys. Great job. Congratulations. I really love the community that we have out here. And good job by Alien Express, the INC Alien Express team taking second. Evo Vortex 1 in third. The INC Euro Aliens, they're in fourth. BRT Draft Beers, we watched them out there today in fifth. I'll go with Dirt TT or the DIR TTT. That's probably better. 42-11 for the team in sixth. Then seventh to Essex. It's the Dirty Steam Engines in eighth. Team ODZ in ninth. And AHDR1 rounding out our top 10. That's for the Frappes. So Fleetwood Mac taking the win there. Going over to the Lattes now. So I love Kirchmeier. That's the Austrian Wonder team. Kirchmeier E-Cycling 1 taking the win with the 43-54 for Lattes. The E-Cycling 2 Kirchmeier squad for the Lattes second and silver medal. The BRT Chasers, they're going to be third in our latte category. And then it's the Vikings Valhalla for fourth. Team TFC Spitfire in fifth. Eat Dirt 2 in sixth. Team Type 1 Lancettes in seventh, DBR 3 in eighth, ODZ in ninth, and the Evo Peaky Blinders team rounding out our top 10. So a 43-54 required to win today.
That's a pretty good time there in the lattes. That's
sure is.
Solid time. We're going to go back to the Viennas real quick because we haven't gone through those, and then we maybe jump in with the mochas in just a minute. Sox for Watts obviously taking it down with the 41.58 it looks like. Obviously the fastest time of the day. But as we were saying, those top fours all within a minute or so. So that's that's that top percentage in the ladies side of things. 2020 Pro Cycling getting into the Premier League for next week. Great to have them participating in the WTRL. Team Susu with the 42-42. Only 3 seconds off. Sisu, another new addition to the Premier League. Welcome and great job on your podium finish. And the Choppers there with that 42-49. Missing Lucy Charles this week, so maybe perhaps a little bit of firepower out of the engines. Hopefully back for next week to try and take down another podium. Cryogen Swans followed up by Team Infinite Stars. Good to have them jumping into the Premier League this week. Z-Sun, Hypernova, Total Tri Training, TTT for 8th. And then Vikings Valkyrie holding on for 9th. It looks like the Flying Tortoises hold on with the 45-39 with the top 10 from Zone 2. So good to see the other zones getting involved in these top spots. We are going to see here, I'm going to go ahead and check out what's going on with the mochas, as it looks like this is the situation from the mochas. Herd of Thundering Rhinos, 49-15. I love that name, Dave.
Yeah, good on you.
Definitely.
Rhinos are faster than I thought. I gotta admit. So Race Hub White taking second there, Nathan, and then the TFC Hurricane team ending up in third. Again, our mochas. Some of the teams just finishing up out there. I love this name too. So this is the community I'm talking about. We can have some fun while we suffer as well. Los Ketchup with a 50-44 for fourth. Cryogen Owls in fifth. Entry.3 in sixth. Eat Dirt Trois in seventh. Cryogen Herons in eighth. The Scrambled Legs team in ninth, and CCC Bitterns rounding out our top 10 for the mochas.
And next week, WTRL Team Time Trial number 60 is going to be here on Zwift Community Live. Watopia Reverse. Oh my gosh. 3 laps of Watopia Reverse. Bring your climbing legs, everybody, because you got a 4-minute all-out effort every lap next week. And this is going to be interesting. That is a climb, though, next week that is going to be, Dave, I think, that climb still has some drafting on it. There is a reality that you can draft, it's not an all-out uphill. So, it's got a sharp kick up front and then a lot of drafting through some rollers and then another sharp kick at the end. it definitely does have some tactics to that. The speeds you can carry on the downhill on the other side too. That is going to be one of the most tactical TTTs actually, because of the way that climb functions, with the reality be able to draft on it. If you can drive the pace in the flatter sections, not really cook it on that 11% gradient, like give it a little bit of revs, and then get into those rollers. And then on the downhill, if somebody jumps over and over on the downhill with how high the speeds get, I think teams can gain 5 to 10 seconds just on doing that section correctly. If you want to win the Premier League next week on the reverse, get some practice as a team. I would have to suggest how to get the best time on that climb and on the descent. The Essies too. They're going through the Essies as well. Think about this. I mean, that is some serious rolling terrain next week.
To just keep piling it on, coming up and over the top and up and over the top, it sounds like, when you listen to Nathan. So we've been getting some great pro tips out there from Nathan every week, and it sounds like doing some recon work for next week. Nathan, this week's course was all about no brain, no pain. Next week, you're going to need your your thinking cap on, your thinking helmet on.
Yeah, you are. It's going to take a lot more strategy, I think, if riders show up with their with well-oiled machines and they've done their homework. I'm getting a lot of comments coming on through here. Really enjoyed the ride tonight. Good job, Russell. Was fully done at the finish. Good to see you, Russell. Thanks a lot. We're also seeing Aaron coming in. Dave, what zone will you be TTing in?
I'm going to go with zone 12. My team is still being put together. I'm still looking for guys that want to race at 1.3 watts per kilo.
Russell Batcher also says he's looking forward to next week. And Martin's letting us know, come join me in zone 8. Okay, Martin. We'll see. We'll see. Hey, everybody. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. We always appreciate all of you. Thanks a lot to WTRL. You guys do such an amazing job putting this all together. We really appreciate everybody that's participating in the WTRL. If you do want to watch the broadcast back, the VODs are always available on Twitch and YouTube. We as well as Facebook. So if you haven't hit those follow buttons and turn on your notification bells for any time we go live, make sure to go ahead and do so. Quick little shout out. Our YouTube is growing pretty quickly, which is great. We just bumped over 6,000 followers over there. Obviously, our mainstay has been Facebook for a long time, but if you do like YouTube, go ahead and hit that over there. And we will see you guys. What do we got going on? We have there's a lot going on. Koa Boys are going to be live in just a few hours with their Warrior race. And then there are a couple things that are popping up over the weekend that were not on the schedule for the week. So be on the watch out for that. And we will see you guys, though, for sure next week for the Ride Reel with Wahoo and 3R. As always, everybody, we'll see you out on Zwift, and ride on.